Jackson SK. Bravo Gonzalez. Samuel Asante. No, not available. Chris Durkin. Not available. Anthony Grant. Evan Lee is. Jalen Robinson. No Jalen Robinson. Who am I missing? I guess that's all of them. No Anthony Grant. No Oliver either. So
Hey guys, just to reiterate, we're going to use that conference standings there for playoff picture. Is that what you want?
Yes.
Hold on, what are we doing? Judy, what are you up to? Judy's doing, but I just need to make sure you know.
Apparently our audio is going out over the air. She was telling us to be quiet.
Oh, your audio is going out.
Over the stream.
That's not good. Anyway. Stand by, guys. For about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll your steam. Go, guys.
Live from Orlando City Stadium, it's USL Soccer 2017. This afternoon, the Richmond Kickers visit OCB. We are 3 hours early due to the impending arrival of Irma. Welcome, everybody. Alongside Orlando City legend Miguel Gallardo, I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thanks for joining us here on USL Match Center. Miguel, OCB in a playoff position as it stands now, but with 6 to play, every match, every point, every goal means so much, doesn't it?
Jeff, it's a pleasure to be here again. A beautiful day for the beautiful game. And like you say, it's coming down to the wire. The playoff race is very, very tight, especially between those last 3 or 4 teams. So every point, especially here at home, is pure gold.
You don't see Richmond on that list, usually playoff contenders in each of their 24 previous seasons. Sonny Jane, they always have players, and Sonny Jane is no exception.
Listen, it's a very unfamiliar territory for them. They have, and for their fans, they got good coaching, good players, plenty of experience. Like as we see Jane here on the screen, it's really difficult to understand why they are in the place that they are, but because they have all those elements that we just mentioned, they could be the best team in the league and in any given day.
Yeah, currently in 14th place, a bit of an aberration. Danny Deacon gets his 10th start of the season tonight.
Yeah, look, he's first season as a pro. The guy's got loads of potential. I talked to Coach Rob Valentino earlier. They have a lot of faith, a lot of belief in him. He's very dangerous, very good at finding pockets, and if he's able to turn with the ball, he could pick a pass or take a shot. He's a very good player.
Let's take a look at the starting 11s for each side. First from the visitors. Second meeting of the season with the Richmond Kickers, led by Lee Calishaw. Travis Wara, longtime DC United man in the back, and that's a strong at the front, strong up top with Mickey Minatillo.
I mean, you look at that lineup, but it's they're dangerous, very experienced.
Let's take a look at OCB's starting 11. And tonight, along with Deacon, you've got Hattie Barry in from the first team. Jake Fenlison set to make his 4th start at keeper.
That's right. They have a very, very strong back line. Jake Fenlison has come in the last couple games, done very well, replacing Edwards, who had been really, really good. So great form, a lot of experience, especially from those guys in the back line.
3 first-teamers in that OCB lineup this afternoon. When we come back, we've got kickoff. Orlando City B and the Richmond Kickers, the rivalry renewed right after this. I called him Sonny Jane right off the top. Darn it.
Hold on, no. This is not going to work. Okay. That's okay. It's not gonna. Look at all this crap. Okay, hold on. Let me pull as many. I just don't want to disconnect something. No. Yeah, but what? But oh, there we go. Oh, that's that. We gotta use that technique. So there you go. Oh, that's. Oh no. Go ahead. Here we go. Okay, say.
They're ready for.
Hold on a second. We're not there yet. Do not let them kick. 10 seconds. Now I've got a good count. 5, 4, this is kickoff routine. 2, 1. We're going to be kicking real quick here. And you're up, Jeff.
Back in Orlando, ready for kickoff. It will be Richmond in the all-white traveling uniforms. They will be attacking the goal to our left at the wall end here. And a game starting 3 hours earlier, as the Orlando Pride of the NWSL will play a little later this evening here in this stadium. Had to clear the space as their game moved up from the weekend due to the impending arrival of Hurricane Irma. Everybody will get out in time tonight. You Richmond Kickers fans watching in the fan, most likely back up in the state capital of Virginia. Richmond, again, some results in the last couple of matches. Did lose at Charlotte on the weekend 0-3, but before that, their first 2-game winning streak of the season, wins against Toronto and Charleston. Here's Fenlison. A little bit different for OCB playing here in the daytime at home. That hasn't been really the case all year. And is there an adjustment to be made playing a little bit more in the heat?
Listen, it's never easy to play in this heat, but it's the same for both teams, right? Everybody has to suffer through the same conditions. But listen, I can think of a lot of places that could be worse than this, right?
Anthony Pulis said as much this week. We train in it. We train midday all the time, so this is nothing to us because we get second billing for the MLS side. Have to do the practice after them. Knocked down the left side. And OCB will make an attack in the middle. Deacon dropping the ball into Lewis Neal, more of a holding mid position this afternoon.
And that's where he feels really, really comfortable. He likes to have the ball at his feet a lot, and the team wants him to have the ball a lot. He's got great vision of the game. He can create something. And he gives the team a lot of balance.
Intervention was made, and Neal brings it back to Timbo playing in that center back pairing with Connor Donovan.
A nice little karate kick there. You would think at his age you wouldn't be able to do that. I certainly couldn't do that, but he must do yoga, Jeff.
Don't all players do that now, right?
After that book by Giggsy?
Yes. We'll come back to William Yambi, the Cameroonian, now in his 9th season in Richmond. Boy, dating back to our old USL days. Remember calling games with him. I'm sure you're used to playing with him. And now it's going to be Barry trying to get in behind Yambi, but the savvy veteran, no problem, back to the keeper, Travis Wara.
Yeah, very cool, calm and collected there, able to play his keeper back in a play that could have been really dangerous, but he had no issues, very patient, played it back to his keeper. The keeper got rid of it.
Left back is Braden Troyer as Johnnet drops deep to bring the ball and skips it past. Alan Roberts, the other center back, makes the switch, far side of the field, one-on-one. Scott Thompson there at left mid for OCB, dropping back defensively. Picked up, and Johnnet on the ball. Here's Troyer, able to get a service in, top of the box, one-time shot off to the left side. It's off target, but that's the danger that these guys present. Luis Fernando, the Brazilian.
Yeah, they're very dangerous because it's their fullback that goes and gets involved, plays a nice ball. Pay attention how he's not just whipping the ball just to see what happened. He knows exactly who that ball is going to, and Luis Fernando with a nice little contact. Unfortunately for him, just barely off the frame. But immediately we see the threat at the beginning of the game, and their fullbacks are fully involved in the attack.
In the 4th minute and against the run of play, first shot for either team, and Fenlison will let it loose. Chested down, Johnnet, the highly technical native of Lesotho. Say that 3 times fast as Fernando tries to play another cross into the area. Coming out of there is Zach Ellis Hayden. Troyer. And Oscar Umar, Ghanaian there with Yadaya Mura. Now the ability to boss things in the center of the pitch. Roberts. One cap with the Canadian national team as Omura will calmly take it back. Yambi. To Johnnet, who has been all over the field, put some paintbrushes on his feet. He'll paint the field.
And that's what you want out of your number 10, right? To get involved, to want to get the ball, try to affect the game. You know, he switched the ball for that first cross that was very dangerous, so you know he wants to get involved. He wants to contribute to the attack.
Richmond settling into things. As soon as I say that, it's into touch. Throw for Zach Ellis Hayden and OCB.
Commentator's curse, huh?
Timbo. OCB trying to get the shape as Richmond moving side to side defensively. Zach Ellis Hayden trying to bring that down in front of Troyer. It's a race to the byline. And will Wara will collect it easily.
Incredible athleticism by Hayden. a ball that you would think was lost. He continued to hustle for it, was able to get a little something off of it, and luckily for him, nobody was in there to close that cross.
Well, Hayden appeared to get all ball. That was the case. Playing catch are the two center defenders, Timbo and Donovan. This is Kevin Alston. Not enough pace on that left side for Scott Thompson to make the catch. Imura. Alex Lee blasts it out of trouble. Schweitzer there. And we'll try to release Fernando here on the left side. In fact, Brazilian gets underneath it, takes inside the area, gets a shot away, deflected by Zach Ellis Hayden. And this is a battle I think we're going to want to watch the rest of this game.
Yep, both very dynamic players. It'll be fun to see their little battle, but great recognition by their holding midfielder center backs actually to see that open player play that long ball.
UCB 8, 6, and 12 on 36 points, 6th place in the East. Could move closer to that top 4 with 3 points today. It's going to be lifted to Martz along the right side. Troyer with him step for step. Martz will get it away. Into the area, Schweitzer. That deflected by Roberts. And quickly the other way come the Kickers. And 25th anniversary season for Lee Kalashaw's bunch, former player. And Alston got the better of that exchange.
Good job by Alston there to recognize that long touch and attacking the ball, able to nick it off of him, give the ball back to his team.
Bolduc was the one he took it from. He was Martz. Cut inside. Remember Hattie Barry back into the fold after being put in the 18 with the first team up at the MLS level for the last month or so. Timbo into Deacon. Thompson has the overlap on the left. Instead will cross it towards the back post, headed down, then over the frame. There's a good chance for Hattie Barry. And it'll be a goal kick.
You talk about Hattie Barry is having such a good run, and this is part of the reason why he's smart enough to find the empty space. Mind you, that's a perfect cross by Thompson there with his left peg. I mean, picked him from a long distance. He was able to get a header on it. Did the right thing, tried to knock it down. It's difficult for the goalkeeper to try to save that, but unfortunately for him, it bounced right over the goal. Great cross by Thompson. Great play by Orlando City right in the beginning.
Each team huddled around the center circle as Wara lifts it. 50-50. Alston got the header. Yambi forward, the 31-year-old. At 33 as Donovan collects. .200 appearances. Over 200 for Yambi. In the red and white.
Sounds easy. It's a lot of years, a lot of hard work.
Dedication.
Dedication, absolutely. It's a sacrifice. You're giving up a lot of things. But he's been very good every single year. Very, very consistent.
Ellis Hayden trying to get Barry in behind. This time Troyer plays it back to the keeper. Troyer, like Deacon, former South Carolina Gamecocks. Deacon drafted this year by Orlando City. Bolduc forced back. Umar. Space to operate. Jane plays catch. And the switch of play. Bolduc settles. Unable to collect. And now Lewis Neal's on it.
But Orlando City being very good at being patient. Richmond has They want the ball. They continue to keep the ball, but they're going side to side. They're not really breaking any lines with any of those balls. So Orlando City is being very patient. They're waiting for their mistake. They're waiting for that bad ball to be able to nick off of them. You know, as long as they're not creating any danger, especially through the middle, breaking lines with those passes, Orlando City Bay is content with letting them have the ball in areas that is not dangerous.
Donovan advances towards that halfway line, plays a straight ball into Deacon. It's step 2 by Umar. Now Richmond will try to go the other way, back to Alex Lee. Now in his 5th season. Imura. Timbo. Make sure that one is into touch.
Yeah, that's a good job by Timbo getting across the forward. Reading that play, realizing that his other center back is out of position. He comes across and cleans it up.
John A. again. Attempt was thwarted. Imura. Back to Fernando. Overlap from Troyer and nicked Ellis Hayden. A foul, and our referee is Jonathan Belinsky. Check the status of Zach.
Yeah, it looked like he took a pretty hard hit. Troyer late to the contest and leaving his cleats. I don't know, Jeff. I've seen a yellow card pulled out for tackles like that, and it wouldn't have surprised me if he would have got that. He was late. He realized he was late. Didn't pull out of the tackle.
Well, the referee Belinsky just gave a warning to Troyer, like that. Cut it out. No more of that.
He wants to keep the game flowing, right?
No complaints up here.
Except for Hayden.
That's right. In our 13th minute. This one going to get to Ellis Hayden in behind. Laying it back. Martz. Austin here to Schweitzer as Orlando City B looking to initiate a switch. Neal finds Timbo. The Brazilian will give it a go from distance. Not going to trouble War. Assault the whole way.
That's a good intention of him going forward, trying to get involved in the attack, but that's a little bit too aggressive for me. It is very far. I think he maybe had a couple of other options, players out wide, maybe could have passed it to maybe get a little cross or something, but I want to change it up a little bit, maybe make Richmond come out of their position, and then you can play out from the flanks.
Donovan. Hayden forcing it back. Try side to side again. Opening up is Lewis Neal. A lot of side to side here as Deacon plays it into Schweitzer. Is there a thing is too patient?
Listen, you can go side to side.
To Barry at the line on Troyer. Haji continues the run, leaves it top of the circle as was Deacon pawed away by Wara to keep it out. Nice job by Richmond to save that from becoming trouble.
Yeah, look at that. That looks easier than it really is, because not only do you have to have the athleticism to go get that ball from not going into a corner kick.
Barry gets a foot on it, but the offside flag up on that near side. So we see those creative runs coming from Haji Barry now in his 2nd season.
Yeah, he's been very, very dangerous. And that's the biggest thing for a forward, is timing your runs properly, figuring out where the defender is. That way you can make a smarter run behind you, disappear from his vision. That way you can be a little bit more dangerous. There's been a couple of plays already for Haji Barry that he's made a good run on. This one, unfortunately for him, he was offsides.
24 years old, Haji Barry. 8 MLS appearances already. Drafted 13th overall, 2016 out of UCF. And you can see his maturation each time he steps out on the field, how it's continuing to go at an upward trajectory.
And that's what you want from players, especially that playing on the OCB side. You want to develop players, give them opportunity, bring them up, you know, slowly into the MLS level, and you see how players like him have becoming, getting the benefit of this sort of structure.
Murrah cut off by Schweitzer. Umar. Throw from Troyer. Hearing the wind blow. Doesn't seem like there's any, but flags are down, but we're hearing something. Seems very still. Good job by Donovan. So took it away. Haven't really called Minutillo's name yet.
As I said, Richmond's been very good at keeping the ball, but they're going side to side. They haven't really created any danger except for that first play in the very first beginning of the first half. Then the game kind of settled a little bit. Orlando City B got a little bit of time to settle and really get organized, and it became more difficult for Richmond to break them down that easily.
Barry quickly into Martz. Troyer holds him up enough. Play on, says the referee, as it goes out left to Alston. Trying to pick out a pass, giving somebody in behind. Thompson was running in, but right to Wara. Pretty decent pace. Richmond's out and running every time they're on the ball. Minutillo was the target. Now will run to Fernando inside the box. Crosses away across the 6 in the face of goal, collected. Jane takes a knock inside the area, no foul. Now OCB will look to counter. Martz at half speed, then Troyer read it the whole way.
And as you said earlier, before the cross was made, I think that was intended for Minutillo. He miskicked it, and Hayden mistimed it, so Luis Fernandez was able to get on it and put a pretty dangerous cross right across the 6. Nobody to get on the end of it.
Troyer to the Ghanaian Umar. Wide to Bolduc. Correction, that was Lee, who's advanced forward from that right back spot. Bolduc playing in front of him. And now Malin Roberts from Edmonton, Alberta. Originally from Sierra Leone, the 25-year-old. And it'll be white ball, worn by the Richmond Kickers. 1-1-1, the record between these two teams since 2016, the second iteration of Orlando City. If you date it back to 2011, 4-6-2 is Richmond's record against teams from Orlando. And you remember some of those epic battles back in the day.
As I said before, you know, honestly, that their position on the table right now is it's hard to understand. And even just watching them play right now, they have so much experience. They have good players individually. I'm having a hard time understanding what's missing from the equation to have a more successful season this year.
Barry, as the flag is up.
You know, they're just such a good side, so solid. Their coaching staff, very good. You know, sometimes just
it's an aberration. It's certainly not the
norm, huh?
No, not the norm at all. On the right side. I believe the year Orlando City won the 2013 championship, it was Richmond that had the best record in the league that year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know what? I just remember that championship trophy.
That's all that matters. Yeah. The other years you had the regular season trophies.
That's
That was the
right.
one year you didn't get it, but hey.
That's right. But listen, every time we went to play against Richmond, especially at their stadium, it was always a difficult game. And surely it was here as well.
Richmond finished 7th last year. The 15-team Eastern Conference.
Also, you got to keep in consideration that the league is evolving. More teams are coming in. You know, MLS teams with their B teams that essentially sometimes you get half of the team that's an MLS squad. So definitely getting more competitive. But still, you know, they have more than enough to be in a higher position, in my opinion, than they are right now.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Is Fernando tripped up and will earn a free kick? Schweitzer will go into the book. I'm not inclined to agree with that decision as Schweitzer, but he will walk and get set to defend here.
That's a crafty little play by Fernando. You know, he was able to read the defender's move well. He crossed his path. You know, he maybe exaggerated on the foul a little bit, but the contact was there, and that's enough to call the foul.
Bolduc will be the one to take.
And he got perfect line for Orlando City defending here. Look at this.
Come off the right foot. Martz is the one nearest, standing in front of the shaving cream. Bent to the back area. It is a good delivery, but in behind. See the danger that Roberts, Yambi, and company possess when they come forward.
As we see the foul here that was given that free kick. Nice little crafty move. But Schweitzer got in his way, called that foul. But as you said, they have plenty of personnel with the physical abilities to get really on top of the ball. They make contact there. There was a foul called before, but they're very dangerous. And the delivery also was very, very good. A lot of quality and a lot of pace. So Orlando City is going to have to be very careful not giving away silly fouls in areas where there's no danger. So you can avoid free kicks because they can be very, very dangerous, especially with those big guys as the center backs.
Alston back to Timbo. Back to the shady side of the field.
They want to keep it on this side.
Yes. Richmond definitely wants that. Zach Ellis-Hayden in front of the touchline between 3 defenders trying to keep his feet. Johnnet takes it off momentarily but commits the foul. And taking a lot of licks here is Zach Ellis-Hayden in the early going. 24th minute, no score.
Yeah, he's a very physical player. You know, he gets knocked a couple times, refuses to go down.
Thompson will let that one fly. Not much trouble in it. A reminder, it's a doubleheader day. Wasn't by design, but by necessity. Pride's game against Seattle Reign in the NWSL moved from the weekend to today to get Seattle out of here before the impending arrival of Irma.
It's unbelievable how quickly the weather can change. I mean, if you look around right now,
beautiful
it's such
now.
a beautiful day.
Everybody getting their preparations in, expecting storm to hit late Saturday, early Sunday here in Central Florida. But our thoughts are with everybody in Miami and Houston before that, after what they went through the last couple of weeks.
Miami, Barbuda, all these little islands that
Yes.
are being affected. Definitely thoughts and prayers to them. Definitely not an easy time.
So we're happy to give you a couple of hours respite from all that news. A little beautiful game as Yambi will invite his keeper to come out and smother.
Yeah, Yambi made the decision. That's what I'm telling you. That's that experience from Yambi. He recognizes they can keep possession of the ball. He calls out his goalkeeper to come and get that ball.
Yambi, one-time MLS draft pick, 2008 with the Kansas City Wizards. So that gives you an idea how long ago that was.
That's right.
Now Sporting KC. Yambi, the 2009 USL Defender of the Year.
To be fair, we're also, I mean, he's played plenty of caps in the MLS. He's got tons of experience. He's a very good, very fantastic goalkeeper.
We are hearing there will be a hydration break shortly. Good job by Ellis Hayden to read that as the cross was away, and Deacon's ball cannot find Hattie Barry.
Yeah, it's a difficult ball to play when it's bouncing. Try to place it with the outside of his foot. Technically, it's hard to get that done. But as you said before, great recognition by Hayden in the back to be able to clear that, because if he doesn't come across there, there's two players from Richmond free, ready to tap it in. Goalkeeper would have had no chance in that situation.
Alan Roberts to Lee. Taking around the back. Currently 89 degrees here in Orlando. Feels a lot hotter out in the field, though.
Especially on that side of the field.
Yes. Sure, about a 10-degree difference. OCB will take it there. Deacon back to Schweitzer. Neal will collect in the circle. Back into the sun we go. Thompson. Well, if you're on that side of the field in the first half, he'll come back the other way for you in the second. Hayden.
Go on.
Now it's going to be Alston.
And Richmond doing a really good job of blocking the path in between the holding midfielders to their forwards, not allowing them to really receive the ball in those pockets. That's why the center backs have to get involved in the attack, just like we did there. But what that does is exactly this, exposes the back if they lose the ball.
Donovan had come forward, and now Richmond a bit of an advantage on the break. In the middle, holds up off of Umar. Slowed it down just enough for OCB to defend. They'll leave it to the right side. Lee as it crosses away, and it was Donovan to make the intervention and put it out.
That's a great recognition by Richmond to really just stay patient, closing down the path in the middle of the field, wait for that bad ball, wait for the giveaway, and break on them. They were very good. Dangerous cross right there that Donovan was able to come and clear. But if you notice, they're very good in transition. I mean, right away, 3-4 balls, and there's already 5 or 6 players in and around the box to be able to create something.
Is that any different from the days you played against Richmond? Is it the same MO for Lee Calishaw?
As I said, you know, they've always been a very good team, and this shows it. You know, it's difficult to understand why.
Boy, that one, Fenlison thought there might have been a play on it, as Fernando was in a very dangerous spot.
I have to tell you, that is a really, really good save by Fenlison, because he has to wait till the last minute until the ball gets past Fernando, because he has to be ready in case Fernando makes contact on the ball. But since he didn't, he was very quick to react to that low ball. Very dangerous. Great save for Fenlison to keep his team leveled.
I'll have to do it again here on the corner kick. Another good delivery in. Fenlison came out to paw it away. Now we'll get back on his line quickly as it's going to be collected by Roberts, who'd come forward for the set piece. Flick, and offside was Bolduc. So Yambi got ahead on it, not that much as far as pace. Well, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. Played about a half hour here. Richmond Kickers and Orlando City B. Glad to have you along. Jeff Radcliffe and Miguel Gallardo and our entire crew. Just had to come to work a little earlier today.
Yeah, it's not bad, but look at the weather. It's beautiful.
Flag is up.
It's a little hot down there. I'm not sure the players are too happy with the change, but at the end of the day, they are doing what they love, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll take this hydration break again. Close to 90 degrees here in the city beautiful of Orlando. You can get closer to the club by subscribing to Lion Nation. Watch exclusive interviews, vote on club decisions, be rewarded for your loyalty, and have access to partner discounts. Learn more about Orlando City's new membership program at lionnation.com. So the hydration break, as you see Lee Kalashaw getting some information to his players as well.
Yeah, much needed. The coaches here take advantage to give indications. Maybe some of the things that they see on the field they wanna change a little bit or reinforce. It's a nice thing to be able to take advantage as we see the players here getting that H2O. That in moments like this, when you've been running up and down the field in this heat, it tastes so good, Jeff. Water is the nectar of the gods, I used to call it.
Are you paying to close attention to what coach is saying, or you're more worried about getting the hydration in?
You know what? You're doing a little bit of both. But as you can see, the players here, you know, you're worried about getting that in you. But yes, of course, you have to pay attention.
Chance for them to get the group together to get everybody back on the same page.
Exactly. You know, it's an opportunity to take. You want to take advantage of that because you know it's difficult when you're on the sideline as a coach. If you see some things you want to change or modify a little bit to get the point across to everybody.
Just one player at a time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you get one player, and then that player tells another player, and before you know it, it's the old game of the broken phone or whatever. So, you know, when you have when you have this opportunity to get everybody together, you can get them on the same page and get the message across clearer.
See Anthony Pulis now in his second season, native of Bristol, England.
And what a job he's done, especially this season under the circumstances. You know, it's difficult when you don't know what team you're going to get at any given time. But I think part of the success that they've had as of late has been because the players are starting to get the idea of what he wants them to do, because this team has an identity. They understand how they want to play. And even when they get MLS players to come back and play with them, even those players now are getting the idea. So when they come from the other team, they're able to adapt a little bit easier. I think that now the team is having a little bit more cohesiveness in that sense, and that's why they're having a little bit more success.
Orlando City Beast began the day in 6th place. That is the highest in the Eastern Conference of any MLS-owned and operated team. And constantly the lineup is changing in and out with some quality players, of course, but a lot of times a lot of young players compared to the teams like Charlotte, Charleston, Tampa Bay, Rochester, Louisville, who are pretty much all USL contract players. A couple of loanies here and there, like Richmond has got the affiliation with DC United, has a few.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of teams in this league that are full of players with experience, not just at the MLS level, but at the international level. So it makes it very difficult for teams like Orlando City B and other affiliate teams and other B teams to compete against those guys because of that structure that we talk about, where the coaches don't necessarily know what team they're going to have available, and there's been players going up and down. And so it's not easy to create an identity and a style of play, but as the season gets a little bit longer, you have a little bit better chance of doing that. And as I said, that's probably one of the reasons why Orlando City has been successful the past 10, 12 games.
Very consistent and level approach from head coach Anthony Pulis. He said that from day one. The challenge is I'm not going to have the same team every week. So getting these guys to be on the same page, learning how to play in the right pockets and spaces with their teammates, so that changes every game. But as you get deeper into the season, each player has been there.
Correct. And on that same token, we see in the game today, I think the midfielders, you know, they're coming into deep pockets, but Richmond is doing a very good job of identifying that and not allowing the holding midfielders or the center backs to be able to get the ball to those guys, which is crucial for the style of play, is for those guys, the midfielders, to tuck in, able to receive the ball in those pockets, turn around either to play a through ball or to play a ball that wide to the fullback that's coming out to make a cross. Richmond is identifying that and making it very difficult to have that success of that plan that Anthony Pulis has.
35th minute as Alston steps to the ball. Yambi back to Wara, native of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Quickly back out right to Lee. Member of the Guam national team. Alex Lee. It's in the system of FC Dallas after being taken in the supplemental draft back in 2012, but now in his 5th season in Richmond, where he's found a really good home.
And Richmond, as I said before, is a traditional team. They have a a very good front office.
Good academy.
They got academy.
Yep.
The setup is great. So if you went around the league, MLS, USL, and you struggled to find a place to be successful at, then you come to Richmond, and you find this level and quality of organization. It's hard to leave, and that is the case of one of my former teammates, Mike Hallahan.
Now an assistant coach.
Now an
under Lee
assistant coach
Calishaw's
after
former
so many years playing there. He loves it there. He's so happy. Everybody is so kind.
Sasha Gorez as well on the staff. Played for many years as that one got nicked. A good delivery from Lee once more, but couldn't get the height on the other side.
Orlando City has to be very careful. Once the ball goes out wide for Richmond Kicker, you have to be aware of the potential scorer of the goal. In that particular instance, there was 3 or 4 players that were free in the box.
Another giveaway by OCB. Amura on the ball. Left to Fernando. Native of Sao Paulo. Will bend in another beautiful ball, and Timbo dealt with it. And sends that one into the wall. It'll be a corner kick.
Seems like
The second for Richmond.
That's it. And as we see, Fernando's been very dangerous the entire game, whether coming in and being dynamic, trying to take people on, or putting a quality cross like this. Timbo very good in a dangerous play to come across and clean that up.
Fernando causing problems. And released, and it was Timbo to get a foot to it right at the 6. Braden Troyer back into the sun. Lee with space to operate. 38th minute. No score. Settling in are the Richmond Kickers, though. Bolduc here on the left side now as Kalishaw moving the pieces around. Jane to Amura. Good ball movement. Right side is Fernando. One-on-one. Steps over in the 18. Leaves a nice ball, but nobody was there to collect. Mart's there. He was just begging for somebody to pounce on that. That's the final ball missing. Oh, what a move by Hattie Barry. Stepped inside and then went out. But got back defensively, did Richmond. Troyer never gave up on it.
What a move. I don't think he even think that was going to work, because the little fake that he did, it was so far away from the defender that it was very difficult to think that it was actually going to get through. You could see his little reaction, how he was surprised that it got through.
It worked.
But it was a good opportunity for him to keep going forward, maybe pick a better pass. He wasn't able to get any final product after that play.
Probably didn't work in training with the MLS players, so. And Barry with 8 goals, that leads the team. Now just his 13th start, so pretty good strike rate for the native of Guinea. Alston. Falls to John A. Bolduc. And picking up the foul there. Hayden, the guilty party.
Yeah, Bolduc with a nice little give and go. Hayden realized that he was going to be late to the party, so he decided to take him down.
Quick restart was too quick for Jonathan Belinsky. Richmond has 53.5% of the possession thus far. It's a little over 5 minutes plus stoppage from halftime. The free kick. John A. Service across, back post, headed and in. Mikey Minutello. His first goal of the season, and first as a Richmond Kicker.
You know, you talked about it in the beginning. We haven't heard his name, but that is when forwards are really dangerous. They sleep through some of the game, but in the important moment they come in and they surprise you with a good finish. It's difficult when you allow a team to head the ball twice in the box. It's almost a percentage is very high that the ball is going to go in, because everybody is watching the first ball and not really paying attention to what's going on behind them. And on the other side, the other guy is waiting for that ball to drop to them and really take advantage as he did there.
Well, Minotillo, 6'3", 190. And we talked a moment ago of you've got Bolduc 5'8", Fernando 5'9", Janet 5'6". They were the ones that getting on the other end of things and weren't able to collect it with the head.
That's right. But if you think
Minotillo
about it,
could.
he got the ball low. He got the ball low. He didn't even have to jump to connect to that ball. But what happens is the ball gets to the second post and everybody starts ball watching, thinking the play is going to be resolved either with that guy heading the ball to the goal. So the goalkeeper has to be the one that's alert, not really paying attention to what's going on behind you. And that's when Minotillo was able to take advantage of that. And the ball falls right in front of him. He's able to finish.
Well, the man who was playing in the Faroe Islands a year ago now has his first goal. Has opened his USL account.
And by the way, that's a credit to Richmond because that's a set piece. That's how you plan that. You play a long ball to your big guy in the back post, and that big guy puts it right back into a dangerous zone. Surely this is a play that they must work on.
Richmond 0-5-7 on the road. So now in prime position to get out of here with perhaps a first win. Really good shape to get a result now with a goal lead. And playing from behind, OCB accustomed to that. Comes back, especially here at home. OCB's numbers aren't nearly as impressive. Been the best road team in the league, OCB, but have dropped a lot of points at home. That's the difference between sixth place and being near the top, fighting for one of those buys.
It might have an effect, the fact that when teams come in here, there isn't really a big crowd because they come to the two of the MLS games and it's a beautiful venue. The grass is perfect. Teams want to come and enjoy playing here. It's almost like they're at home. Orlando City goes away to other places where there's a good crowd, and they perform well.
Yeah, they've done well in places like Louisville and Cincinnati.
As a professional soccer player, you want people to watch you do your thing, and then it motivates you. It gets the best out of you, especially if you're a player with experience that really doesn't break in moments of pressure. You wanna shine at the biggest stage, that's for sure.
Richmond shining right now in the ascendancy, and let's see if this changes how they operate here with a goal lead. It'll be 3 minutes of stoppage time, about 90 seconds from that point. Chasing the 1-0 game as Richmond looks for their third win in 4 weeks. Imura. Man from Tokyo leaves it. Left Troyer. See what that goal does for Richmond's confidence going forward. Umar to Yambi. All the way back out, making them defend left to right. Lee will step in. Another service into the area. Donovan dealt with it. Schweitzer off his chest. Amura comes back immediately to help out defensively with Fernando. And now Fernando on the ball once more. Janet, top of the area. Little return ball shot, and the flag is up as Minotillo looking for goal number 2.
It's called a foul there on that little give and go on Janet. It's a good play by Richmond there, a little give and go in a small area, but the problem becomes when Schweitzer doesn't release the ball when he has time. You don't want to play with the ball, especially right out of the box.
Right up the middle. Yeah.
Right in the middle. It's a very dangerous area. When you recuperate that ball after running up and down to try to get that ball, you should try to leave it to the first player that you see, the first purple shirt that you see. As we see here, he's the give and go by Janet. Yep. And he gets taken down with Connor Donovan. But as again, you could stop that play at source. Before it becomes a problem, you could stop it. And now you have to deal with a very dangerous kick. We see the quality that the Richmond has.
The foul came before the offside flag went up. Hence the free kick inside the D. Be Bolduc or Janet. And he buries it. It is 2-0. his third goal of the season. And it has been a house of horrors here the last 5 minutes for OCB.
Yeah, as we said before, it's you don't want to give teams opportunities like this one right on top of the box, especially with the quality of players that they have. We've seen the quality of the crosses that they put in the box created a lot of problems, and then you put a ball right on top of the box. You know, for the number 10, Janet, with that beautiful left foot. It's a great finish. You know, Fenelson unable to react to that ball. It's from close distance. He can't really see it until it gets past the wall, and by that time the ball's already in the back of the net.
Third goal in 4 games for the native of Lesotho, that landlocked country in the middle of South Africa. The creamy filling in the donut, that is South Africa. And now he's got another lead. 2-0 to the good for Richmond here on the road. As we mentioned, nary a road win this year.
And that's a good opportunity here for Orlando City B to get something back. It will be a critical time if they're able to nick a goal here and get the momentum going back on their side to enter the second half, because it's difficult to overcome a 2-0 lead right as you go into the half. So
Thompson, who played against with Richmond last year, one of the players that could take here. So you got 4 players on the ball. Something off the training ground. Thompson serves it, and Wara is there. It was looking for Barry. And Lee with space to operate. Numbers coming back. Here's Imura. UCB defending for their lives here as of late. Bolduc. So Lee Cowlishaw has pushed all the right buttons. We saw the change, moving some of the pieces around the field, and found success.
It almost seemed like that water break was was what made the trick, huh? We talked about the chance for coaches to make changes, and it seems like they turned it on right after the water break.
Deacon didn't do much with it. See if there's some changes, at least tactically, for Coach Pulis here at the half. What things could he be seeing that aren't going right as far as producing chances, but also giving up chances on the other end? And there's the halftime whistle from Jonathan Belinsky. What a half it was for the visiting Richmond Kickers. 2-0 to the good on the road against Orlando City B. So Lewis Neal and company have some work to do. Lee Cowlishaw's bunch in the lead. Halftime show right after this on USL Match Center.
This is where it all began. The passion, the reputation, both on the field and in the stands. They ruled an era in this league, and now they are back for more. The future of Orlando City can be summed up in 3 letters: O-C-B.
Back at Orlando City Stadium as the hometown Lions in a world of hurt at the moment, down 2-0, giving up 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of this first half. And Richmond's Minatillo and Sonny Johnnet doing the damage. Jeff Radcliffe along with Miguel Gallardo. Here's how it all worked out in that first half as we look at the highlights.
Jeff, we talked about it right since the beginning of the game. You know, at the plays where they are on the table is a little bit difficult to understand because there's so much quality. As we see here, this cross by Thompson. Hattie Barry gets around the defender, gets behind him, not able to connect well, and doesn't have success. Hattie Barry has been busy making some good runs, but just hasn't been successful with that. Fernando on the other side has been very active, very dynamic player, has been going out wide, created crosses, taking people on, and has earned something for his team. We see this nice save, nice reaction save by Finlayson, who's had a couple of really good saves, but on those goals, it's difficult to do anything to help your team. Timbo on that play, crossing, getting across to get rid of the danger. Hattie Barry with a little nice crafty move, but not able to get anything. And we see the first goal of a set piece that has been planned. Long ball to the back, big guy heads it back across, and Minatillo there to push it in and get the first goal for the Richmond. And the second goal, great set piece by Johnnet, left-footed. Nothing Finlayson is able to do in that ball.
Goals coming in the 41st and 46th as we look at the match stats. 2-0 to the Kickers. They've got the better of the possession shots, even though, but OCB has not made the most of them.
Absolutely. Listen, we can look at the stats all day. At the end of the day, it's that first stat that matters the most. That's the moneymaker. That's the one that gives you the point. And Richmond have been dangerous. They've taken their opportunities. They've gotten crosses, and they've gotten people in the box to be able to connect to those crosses, and that's why the game is as 2-0. You know, after 2 set pieces of fouls that maybe could have been avoided by Orlando City B.
Well, we came out to play early today here at Orlando City Stadium. 4:30 kickoff, and Richmond has not been bothered at all. So they lead 2-0. We'll come back, talk a little more about this matchup as Orlando City B has work to do, trailing 2-0 at the half.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
What's been unusual is that we gelled from the beginning, and since then it's carried on throughout the season. It carried on through preseason, and then now we're continuing. Now we're getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah, when the group got together down in preseason and we were training with the first team, we were kind of just looking around like, yeah, we got a good squad, you know, like when we get back and it's just the Monarchs, we have a team that could do something really special. And so having that time together in preseason and pushing ourselves against RSL and against the first team guys was a great experience and opportunity, and kind of gave us some bonding heading into our season, and we knew we had a special group.
You can't just look at it as a slice, right? Because the investment is the club as a whole in building integration at every level. If you're going to think that way, you have to build the facilities, you have to invest in the team, you have to do everything that you need to do to make sure that at every level you're driving success, and I think that's what we've done.
I think there's a standard throughout the whole organisation now, from top to bottom. I think with the new facility, that's only going to increase the level, only going to increase the standard and the quality of everything within the club.
Purpose-built for USL. It'll be a fun game experience. It'll be a nice place for them to have a home field, and it'll be right at the training facility, which will be great.
This is the next step, obviously, with the academy being there, and the Monarchs will be there, the first team will be training there.
But this is unlike anything else in the USL, and I think it's going to be a big game changer for us.
And so now to have our own place that's not going to be as big, but it's going to be just as full, it's going to be incredible for the team.
But for the Monarchs, it'll be great because we're getting on average 3,000 fans or so, and I think it'll be even more next year as the Monarchs continue to improve and kind of set the standard in the USL.
The players' goals have evolved as the season has, and their expectations have got greater. And I think they now understand that until we have a USL championship, they haven't aspired or they haven't reached the goal that we ultimately want.
Flip ball in. There's the shot from Fitzpatrick, but a great save from Edwards Jr. But the landlord, Earl Edwards Jr., was right there to collect.
I don't know where that came from. I roll with it. I don't know if everyone's the biggest fan, but I don't mind it. I think I've been fortunate enough to be a captain of my high school teams and in college, so I think it's something that I like to do, I enjoy doing, and if guys look up to me as a leader and respect me as a leader, then it's something that I enjoy doing.
Turgu right there, sends it in, and what a save by Edwards Jr. What a save by Earl Edwards Jr.
I look forward to the opportunity, like I said, not getting games my first 2 years. I think I looked at it as an opportunity to be a leader, being an MLS guy coming down to play with OCB. And so it was something I was just looking to take advantage of and take advantage of the opportunity I was getting to play games.
It's a chance, he's into the area. Sent back on the back post, over the top!
I've been confident in my abilities, and like I said, it was a little bit of nerves going into the season, going into the Tampa Bay Rowdies game, obviously our biggest rival, I think, and going into that game having not played a game in months, and I think that was a bit of nerves then, and since then I found the rhythm, and I think things are going well so far.
Second straight game, he approaches, saved by Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my 2 years prior, I think I've proved to people there were glimpses of the keeper I could be, but like I said, I was playing 5 to 7 games a year, so it was really hard for people to judge how good I am or how good I can be, and now this year, having played almost every single game at OCB, people can really tell what I'm capable of, improving myself to the OCB, the MLS, and the first team staff, the B team staff. I think it's something that's important for me, and hopefully I can just keep the ball rolling.
Back here in Orlando as OCB with work to do, down 2-0. In fact, the chicken's in the oven a little earlier today here, Miguel. I think so. We're going to have dinner tonight unless things change for OCB. We saw a nice little feature there on Earl Edwards Jr. Now back up with the MLS team. Edwards second in the league in shutouts, was fourth in saves. Has now given way to Jake Fenlison due to the injury at the MLS level of Josh Saunders. So now he's not available. Now you got to step up. And so far, Fenlison has done what he's needed to, but now hasn't gotten much help today.
Yeah, absolutely. Earl Edwards have proven himself at the USL level that he has a lot of quality. And again, he's USL level a lot of times is not far from the MLS. You know, there's things that vary, a lot of elements that vary and make a difference. But in terms of quality of certain players, the majority of players is relatively similar. Earl has done a phenomenal job. You never want to replace a fellow goalkeeper teammate when they get hurt. but at the same time, you have to take advantage of your opportunity. And you know, he has the opportunity to go in the first team. So when he gets the opportunity, surely he will be ready.
Here's what's ahead for each side. OCB, again, in a push for the playoffs. So this result would not go well as far as those aspirations. At St. Louis versus Charleston, and then back at Richmond. They've got 6 games left, including tonight. And a bunch of those, in fact, 5 of those will be at home. Richmond, on the other hand, technically 14th place, nothing to play for, right? Here they are looking for a win in their 3rd and 4th games, and they closed the season with 4 straight home games.
Yeah, as I said before, you know, this is an unfamiliar territory for them, and any given day they can beat the best team in the league, and also obviously they've lost to some of the teams that have not done so well. So it's not a surprise to me that they're getting away with 2 goals so far.
Well, Orlando City B currently in 6th as they enter the night. The only game here on Thursday. A busy schedule of games coming up on Saturday that could affect what you see there. Logjam, a 3-way tie for 3rd on 41 points between Charleston, Tampa Bay, and Rochester. Louisville starting to show their class. But even they, it's anybody's game because OCB a few games back beat Louisville 3-0 on the road. So anybody could beat anybody 1 through 15 on that East.
I mean, we look at the standings, and there's a lot of games left. There's plenty that can change. Losing a game tonight will not put you in panic mode because there's plenty to play for.
These games here definitely could affect where Orlando City B falls at the end of the weekend. Rochester currently in 5th. Hosting Ottawa, Charleston, and Charlotte. That's 3 versus 2 in the East. Louisville hosting a feisty Pittsburgh team, actually going to Pittsburgh for that one. New York Red Bulls 2 will have TFC, and then St. Louis and Harrisburg as well. So a couple of those games, very, very important, is games come and points come at a premium this time of year.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is look back and regret the fact that you gave away some points where you felt maybe that you had the better chances and weren't able to get the final product, weren't able to close out the match. That's the one thing you don't want to do. So, as I said before, there's plenty to play for. There's still 6 games in the season. A lot can change. The race for the final playoff spots is still very, very tight. So it will be very difficult to predict anything right now. There's a lot of teams still in very good shape with a lot of possibilities to make it into the big party.
Anthony Pulis this week said, don't let their place in the table fool you. Richmond is a very good team. You can see that when you watch it on film. And his players have not gotten the message as of yet. There is a change to start this second half, and it will be Albert Dequa. He comes in for Deacon, and Hattie Barry will have a playing partner up top. Looks like they're shifting to a 4-4-2 here, Miguel.
Yeah, you want to be able to affect the game right away, maybe spark a little energy right away, and also catch Richmond a little bit by surprise with putting 2 players up top, 2 players that are very, very fast and are able to give you a lot of trouble because right now Yambi and company have a lot to deal with in the first half.
Yambi and Roberts more known for their physicality and smarts, not necessarily their pace. So now they'll have 2 to deal with as Dequa in his 3 goals, Barry in his 8th have been able to produce. Thompson kind of coming up on that left side as well as be served in. OCB attacking right to left here in the second half, but trailing 2-0, giving up 2 goals in the last 5 minutes of that first half. So what does Anthony Pulis, what did he say at the half as Alston was unable to reach that ball? It was read well. What did Ant say in that locker room? And obviously he made a change, so there's something he didn't like.
Well, there's obviously a few things that need to change. Obviously not giving away silly fouls in areas where Richmond has already proven that they can be very dangerous.
That's right, both coming off set pieces.
Also maybe picking up the tempo a little bit, not let Richmond dictate so much of the play.
2 goals from 2 set piece opportunities. They've had some good opportunities in the run of play as well. And let's see if they back off a little bit and play more counter. Yambi over to Roberts, now on the sunny side of the field. And now danger again, trying to chip the keeper. John A. wasn't far away and only could only Finlayson could watch. It's the only thing he could do. Luckily, not on target.
Yeah, he got caught in an area there where there's nothing you can do. Luckily for him, there isn't enough quality.
Not that time. The free kick was a piece of work, though.
Absolutely.
Finlayson, getting numbers forward, will play the direct ball out. And this one's going to go out. Not the place where he wanted it to go. And the touch near side in front of the Richmond technical area. Every keeper has done that before.
Absolutely. You know, and your teammates will give you some hard time about it. They'll tell you how big and wide is the pitch. Can you not put it inside, inside the pitch? But obviously he was looking for the player out wide, and the long pass had to be very precise.
And down in the park is Umar. Played at Westchester United. The Ocean City Nor'easters before coming to Richmond. Part of that Right to Dream Academy in Ghana. He is up off the mat. 7 assists this year for the Kickers. Not bad from being a defensive mid or a deep-lying playmaker. He will play that one back to his keeper, Wara, who's got the clean sheet so far. Yambi to Amira. And a handball. Too good on the juggle, I thought. Now, Paul Klaus is also put into the game, too. So 2 changes at the half made as Martz was off. So let's see how this sets up.
I think you start to play with 2 people up top. You got Louis Neal, play him a little bit wider, but he's a player that's going to be able to come in inside and hopefully play in kind of like a false number 10 role. You get Schweitzer to balance out in the middle.
And the back 4 will remain unchanged. Amira. Saying it left. Fernando going to make this 3-0. Shut down by Zach Ellis Hayden. That's when he shifted to the other side and was successful on the other end. So Deacon and Martz subbed at halftime. The ever versatile Louis Neal kind of occupying that space on the right now. And going back to that 2011 year, he's a guy that can play any position in the midfield, even at the ripe young age of 35.
Right. I mean, listen, he's got so much experience, so much quality, and still very, very good physically. He's in really good shape. He can. He's very versatile. He can fill in different positions.
Fernando now on the ball inside of the area. Leaving it in front, it was Timbo to make that last-ditch block. Boy, a little more quality on the shot there, and might have been 3-0. Still not out of the woods. Troyer winning the ball. Amira. To Umar. And Richmond will reset here in the 51st. Back to Wara. Well, fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts. Mondays at 9 p.m. on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week this year. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Mura becoming the distributor cap here of the Richmond attack. Back to the Tokyo native.
And he's been very good, to be fair, the entire game, distributing the game. Very, very precise, not making mistakes, really giving security to the team in the middle. And as I said, Richmond doesn't have a lot to play for in terms of play of contention. And now that they're 2 goals up, they're playing with the anxiety of necessity of Orlando City B to be able to come forward. So they're being very patient, very calculated the way they pick and choose their times to go forward.
John, I one touch. Fernando. That thwarted by Donovan. And having their way right now with the 2-0 advantage. Imura. Lions trying to settle in after making the 2 halftime changes. Need to get the ball to see if that's going to be effective. And right now they've been forced on the back foot.
That's the first thing they got to do is get the ball. And if not, when you get the ball, when you're defending, you're able to get the ball, you need to be quicker in transition. The couple of times they were able to nick the ball, they weren't as fast to come out. So when the forward players, top players are able to get the ball, they're too isolated. They need to be able to get help. So the team needs to come up with them quicker, stay more connected.
I'm playing keep away at the moment.
No, they have no urgency. They have no reason to go forward, so they're going to continue to pass the ball side to side, force Orlando City to do the hard thing, which is the running that nobody wants to do, because they already are at an advantage. And again, when you're playing without that pressure, without that necessity to get a goal, suddenly things become a little bit easier.
Kickers starting to boss that possession. It's up to 60% and going north. There's Klaus, finally, OCB on the ball. Now you got to value it. Fendlison directing traffic here to Timbo. And the Brazilian able to get it away. Lee trucking back quick on Alston. Make that Bolduc sloppy foul there. Should bring out a yellow. And it will. Oh, a quick restart held up.
It's a good play by Timbo to recognize that he had no angle to give the ball to Austin. He decides to cut inside and then play Austin in the space. Austin gets taken down because Bolduc realized that it could have been very dangerous if he's able to continue forward. As we see here, he gets past him. He was going to have a lot of space, and he had players running forward already, so he gets taken down. Professional foul, they called him, Jeff.
Yes. Unless you're on the receiving end, they don't feel too professional. Imura with Neal forcing the pass to the left. Imura overruns it just a bit. Here comes Dikwa. Will play the ball, trying to get in behind. An offside flag is up, or no, a flag. Foul, excuse me. Yeah, he shook the flag around. Did the assistant referee on that far side, Jonathan Quinter.
And Imura suffered the commentator's curse now. Me talking all these nice things about him. Right there, he gets stuck with the ball and loses possession of the ball and creates this counter-attack opportunity for Orlando City B.
Important moment for OCB here. Thompson along with Klaus. Here's what set up the free kick we're about to see.
And this play was already after the fact.
Thompson, what a strike as he just put it left, trying to find Donovan on that backside and didn't miss it by much.
No, it was a good cross, good intention. It's in a very dangerous area where the goalkeeper has to make a decision to come out and stay. If he decides to stay and there's any sort of contact, it's very difficult to react. But well done by Wara to come up and realizes that nobody's getting to the ball and decides to leave the ball to go for a goal kick. It looks very easy to do, but it's really not. You have to be very aware and very cold and composed to be able to let that ball go.
The corridor of indecision, says the goalkeeper's worst enemy.
That is it. That is it. The best goalkeepers are the ones that make the best decisions in the fastest time possible.
A little area right at the 6, right outside of it. Do you come out or do you stay on your line? That is the question.
And I tell you what, it looks It looks the ball looks low, the ball looks high when you're in the supporter section or up here from the commentator booth. But when you're on that field, that ball's coming at you a lot with a lot of speed. Decisions have to be made quick, and you see it at the highest levels of the game.
Yes.
The goalkeepers come out for a cross when they shouldn't have. And
you don't have time to think about it. It's all reaction and training.
You really don't. Is not an easy thing to judge. The speed of the ball, the height of the ball, on top of having to be aware of who's coming to try to get that ball from you, right?
Neal right at the halfway line. Plays with Klaus. Still trailing by 2 goals. Flag stays down on Dikwa. Send it towards that spot. And Barry was not quite there, but had to be played out by Roberts.
What an unbelievable ball by Louis Neal to recognize the space in and behind Richmond defense. Dikwa gets around it and is not able to make good contact. I'm still not sure if he tried to shoot or cross it. Regardless, Hattie Barry stopped running. He was unable to get to that question mark cross.
Former kicker Thompson lets it fly, bends that one in. Barry gets a big leg swing on it. Now trying to clear things, Jané and company, and it will go out into touch.
And here's where Orlando City has to take advantage of the little bit of momentum that they just gotten. You know, catch Richmond a little bit off balance and then unorganized.
Be played back instead.
You know, you do that, and obviously you're trying to reset, but you also allow the other team to get organized and make it difficult again. As we see here, Louis Neal having to drop too deep to get the ball to try to look for something.
Schweitzer facilitates it back. And no problem. You're not going to beat Yambi on that ball.
It's going to be difficult, especially because, I mean, their physicality, they're so superior. Again, the play right before that one where Louis Neal tried to find that ball to Dikwa, that ball had to be so perfect, so precise. It's not going to be easy to do that over and over again. You're going to have to find different ways to break him down, either if it's play the ball through the flanks and try to get across on the ground, or making combination play in the middle, but Richmond is making it very difficult.
Klaus forcing the turnover there and then giving right back. Maybe a chance to make it better, but Dikwa puts that one about 10 rows up. Probably had a little more time.
As I said, you know, from here it looks like there's plenty of time to make a decision, but when you're down there, everything is going so much faster. Again, he did have 2 or 3 players that maybe could have played off of little 1-2, a little give and go. But Orlando City doing a good job of pressuring high, and when you're able to pressure high and nick the ball, you're that much closer to the goal. Therefore, you have more opportunities with one pass or one shot to get something.
Klaus again, ball forward. Here's Barry trying to spin it into the area. Troyer there to collect. Getting physical between Barry and Yambi. Amura. There's Fernando. And Richmond content to possess. Alex Lee back to Umar. And the triangle set up on the near side in front of Lee Cowlishaw. Umar and Imura. A lot to say about how this game finishes in its last half hour. 2-0 towards Richmond. Looking for that first road victory of the season. The longer this goes, the easier it's going to be, right? That's the obvious.
Yep. Orlando City's gonna have to come up with something here to get a goal to give you that hope that you'll be able to make it back into the game. You know, and as you allow Richmond to get possession of the ball, have a little bit of joy on the ball.
Jané had some space, took the shot from about 30 out. No problem for Finlayson to watch that one sail over. And he will send it out to Hayden. Donovan to Neal. That's where you want the ball. Lou looks up, left foots it, right side. Dequa able to pull it down. Nicely done by Troyer to break it up. Troyer out of Columbia, South Carolina, part of the Charleston Battery youth setup. So he's got USL in his blood. On the right side, Bolduc, New Hampshire native. 1-on-1. And Timbo took care of it. Klaus had to get that ball right. Into Neal. Barry running at defenders once more. Hattie Barry, a little foot stuck in by Johnnet. Stepping to is Roberts. And Barry comes up with it once more. Hattie gives it up to Thompson. Thompson again. Good cross into the area. And offside was up as looked like Dequa went down a little easy, but took it off the chest.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter anyway because of the offside. It's a good cross by Thompson. However, within all that running that Hattie Barry did right before that and try to find something, he releases the ball to Thompson, who obviously is going to cross the ball, but he decides to just kind of walk a little bit too relaxed. For me, I would have liked him for giving that ball and hurry into the box to get another number in the box, maybe create something, a little give and go with Thompson.
Just one substitution remains for Coach Pulis as we're in the 64th. Alston laying it back to Timbo. Schweitzer. Got three guys out there that can really command possession in the center of the park with Schweitzer, Neal, and Klaus. Getting a little better at that here as we get later into the second half. Oh, zigged when he should have zagged. Thompson can connect with Klaus. Amura. Johnnet. Spin it left. Troyer. Laying it back to Umar. And now keeping the possession again, going side to side, the Richmond Kickers. In position to get their 6th win of the season here and first on the road. Return ball from Troyer brought down by Neal. Nobody there in the alley to pick up the loose ball. Now it's Fernando once more. And just got a piece of it, I believe, was Timbo. Saw some frustration there from the captain. Somebody wasn't in the right spot. Timbo cuts back in. Alston shakes off the challenge. Needs to get it off his feet. Leave it to Thompson. Numbers come forward. Neal all by his lonesome. He will take it straight at it. Thought about letting it fly. Instead, it's Zach Ellis Hayden who will receive into the corner. Crosses away. Now Hattie Barry. Klaus to Neal. A little quicker ball movement now from OCB. Barry, one-on-one, steps over once, runs into a brick wall. As Umar took care of it.
Yeah, Orlando City with a little bit of better ball movement, however, not being decisive enough at the time where you have to be. Hattie Barry there trying to dribble. There's 2 or 3 players in front of him. It's going to be very difficult to get past him. He had plenty of people around the box to be able to create something differently. Maybe come out of the play and try to go the other way. It doesn't matter if the ball just came from one side. You don't have to attack if the numbers are not there, if the possibilities are not there. There's nothing wrong with going back to the other way to maybe try to get a little bit of numbers overload and then try to go forward and penetrate when maybe there's a little bit of equality in terms of numbers.
Troyer Richmond on the ball, having a substitution set to come in the form of Raul Gonzalez at the next stoppage. Meantime, looking to go 3 up. Neal able to clear it off the 18 as far as Umar. And back to Yambi. '68th. Imura. Running right by Thompson. Sends the through ball. Luis Fernando. And Timbo against his countryman got the better. Bolduc winds up and fires. Blocked. Lee. Send Bolduc to the line, too far out in front. Goal kick OCB. And here comes the change as Bolduc will come off after that last touch of the ball. And Raul Gonzalez, the Ocean Springs, Mississippi native, 22-year-old out of the University of Memphis, will make his 20th appearance of the season.
Yeah, Raul Gonzalez, young player, hungry player, wants to make a statement, wants to make a name for himself. It's a good time for him to come right now. He's going to take advantage of Orlando City trying to go forward to try to exploit the empty spaces, the players going forward and not getting back on time. It'll be good for him. He could take advantage of some of those opportunities as Orlando City continues to try to get the first goal to get him back into the game.
69th minute. Timbo. OCB's had their moments late. First halves have not been their friend, but they've scored goals late in matches to get points. And have yet to get one here as it's into Travis Wara. Wara, it's just his 5th start. Coming in from DC United. I believe Steve Clark now with DC is the backup to Bill Hamid. Wara wants to play, come down to their affiliate in Richmond. How about a lovely ball to Zach Ellis Hayden, keeps his feet, sends it across, tipped over the bar by Wara, who did well with it. It will be a corner kick for OCB.
Yeah, it's a great play. Great acknowledgement by Hayden. He cuts the defender, and the obvious one is to try to look for that beautiful curl ball to the back post, but Wara was up to the challenge. That's a great ball by Hattie Barry there to see Hayden making that run past the defender that didn't get back in time, cuts it. Good save by Wara. Good play by Orlando City. Maybe they can take advantage of this corner kick.
Thompson with the left foot. Back to Barry, will blast it away. In the meantime, it was Joe Gallardo, no relation, to come in.
Unknown, that's
for
unknown.
Kevin Alston. So offensive player for defensive player here. Let's see how it affects the shape for Anthony Pulis, but he's exhausted all his subs with 20 to go.
Yeah, there's no need to put any defensive players in there. We need attacking. The team needs to try and go get something back. As we say, he's throwing all the meat on the grill, Jeff.
Little chicken on the bobby. Klaus commits the foul, going straight up on Gonzalez. So 2 changes left for Lee Caldeshaw. And now we'll have to see out another set piece. Gallardo, in the meantime, making his 6th appearance for OCB. Product of Monterrey in Mexico. US U17 international. 19 years old, and they love his potential.
He really does. He really is a good player. He's got a lot of potential now. Listen, 19 sounds very young, and it is very young, but you have to start taking advantage of your opportunities. Being coached by Anthony Pulis and Rob Valentino, there's a lot he can learn to develop his game.
Again, set piece delivery from John A. That time
He tried to be a
Yeah,
little bit
too
sneaky
much.
there.
Yeah.
It's not a
That
bad
or it hooked
opportunity.
away a little on him.
Well, listen, when you're winning 2-0 is past the 70th minute, and you already scored
Yeah.
a free kick goal like the one he did, he has a little bit of leeway
to do it again. That's right.
to try and do something like that. And, you know, to be fair, credit to him, Finlayson was a little bit on the other side, and he left a little bit of that first post a little bit unclear, because obviously the natural thing to do for a player there is to send that ball across.
Oh, here comes another change for Lee Calishaw. Coming off is the opening goal scorer, Mikey Minitillo. And Teo, Las Vegas by way of Cameroon, the 27-year-old forward in, former West Virginia Mountaineer, and a member of the U.S. men's national football team. So what advantage does that give you when you're playing outdoors? You're a guy who's played indoors now, right, Miguel? Any skills that translate?
Well, you know, those guys are usually known for being very technical, very good on their feet, you know, very strong physically if you're a defender, because usually in the indoor game they play with one guy up top at the post type of player as a forward. A lot of technical abilities must be had in the indoor game because the space is smaller. You know, usually in the outdoor game you can get away with having some athletic players that run up and down the field and maybe sacrifice a little bit of that technical ability. But in the indoor game, you become exposed right away. The space is smaller, the touches are more often.
I'll tell you, 6'2", 2 out of 9. Played at San Antonio last year. Former MASL MVP at that indoor level. So talk about some quality in the indoor game. Not going to be much better than being the MVP of the league. So I would think he can score some goals. Solis de Sonora.
Solis de Sonora is
to Gallardo. All the way back to Wara, right at the edge of his 18. Again, this is a part of a doubleheader today. Wasn't initially supposed to be that way. This was supposed to be a 7:30 kick, but the NASL had to move the Orlando Pride Seattle Reign game to this evening here on this field. When you've got three teams that share a field, this is going to happen from time to time. There's Barry, takes a heavy touch, back to Lewis Neal. Schweitzer. Shields. Back to Klaus on a diagonal. Troyer got there first. It's going to go out off of Richmond. Throw into OCB here in the 75th. So 2 goals down, 15 minutes to do something about it, to salvage a point at least. All because of a 5-minute spell at the end of the first half in which they conceded 2 set-piece goals. And in the playoff race, you know that Anthony Pulis is going to have some things to say about that. Here, a hydration break is coming, and here it goes, as Jonathan Belinsky says, water.
And as we remember the impact this hydration break had in the first half, hopefully on this time, the benefit will be for the Anthony side boys, Anthony Pulis side, as he's able to take advantage of this opportunity to make a little bit of changes, maybe inject a little bit of energy and motivation to the boys to continue to push through. 15 minutes left. It's hot, it's uncomfortable, but there's still plenty of time to get something. Oh, we've seen it happen before, right? Less time, probably more goals.
So glad to have you along here on USL Match Center. Jeff Radcliffe, Miguel Gallardo, our entire crew. Again, 8 o'clock, the kickoff for the Pride in the Rain in the stadium later on tonight. You can still get your tickets at orlando-pride.com/ticks. And this field with 3 teams playing on it, and this new stadium has held up pretty well throughout the summer, where the sun beats down constantly.
But it's incredible, the shape of this field. You know, even when you walk down there, it's just flawless.
Yeah.
The groundskeeper here, they're doing a phenomenal job.
Matt and his staff.
Matt, I mean, you know what it's like for groundskeeper in stadiums. It's like their child. You know, it's just they really take care of it well, and as they should. You know, and that's why that's why they do this, because they love taking care of it. And but it's no easy task. It's no easy task, as we've seen beautiful venues, very expensive venues, and the field that sometimes is not up to par. But it's not the case here. As you said before, 3 teams play here. It's got to be a difficult task to keep this in top shape the way it is right now.
The MLS side won't be back for a while, as they're in the middle of a 4-game road swing as the season draws late in MLS. They'll be at DC United, who just happen to be the affiliate of Richmond Kickers. They're on the weekend. Our broadcast on TV 27 coming your way on Saturday night, as the Lions desperate for a win. Thrown forward. Remember, right after that water break in the first half is when things went south for OCB.
Don't start with a commentator curse, Jeff.
We've already done it twice, right? Stay consistent, my friend. It's about consistency.
That's right.
Free kick is Teo,
this indoor player, superstar.
6'2", 209. That is a force.
He's a big boy, isn't he? He's a tank.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the
there
Tank.
You go.
Frank Teo the Tank.
Well, the Tank just got a touch. There's John A. running at, keeping on his left foot. Schweitzer comes down with it and trying to whistle his way out of dodge. Somehow draws the foul, thankfully.
Yeah, we went the other way this time, because in the first half it was a similar play where he tried to get out of trouble, dribbling the ball on top of the box. He took a player down, and that led to the second goal for Richmond. In this case, the foul was called in his favor, but very dangerous area to play the ball. As soon as you see a purple shirt, you know, you should release that ball to them, because they can see the field a little bit better. You've been battling, looking at the ground, chasing the ball, trying to dribble past people. You don't necessarily know or are aware of your surroundings in that moment.
Want to see Gallardo get the end of that one. Couldn't catch up to it. Big throw coming from Lee into Teu. Here's Gallardo, and had it played off his foot by Umar. Loose ball. Legs getting tired in this point of the match. A little over 10 minutes to play. Headed back to Fenlison with Frank the Tank on his back. It's over the top of Lee. Gallardo going to get in behind. Off deflection off the head. Sliding challenge by Yambi. Just to clear it. It will be a corner kick here for Orlando City B.
Well done by Gallardo not to give up on a play. He's able to get the flick by Lee, but his first touch is a little bit too long. It allows for Yambi to get across, slide tackle that ball, and clear it for a corner kick. And we see here players down. The cramps are coming into effect at the moment. You know, it's late in the game. You've been running up and down, and also you're on the winning side, so taking a little bit of time off the clock might help you a little bit.
Yes. Everybody back up. Big moments here for OCB to get back in this one. Need to at least pull one back. Thompson. How was that not a foul? Not sure. Gallardo stays on the ball. Schweitzer service back in and misses that near post. Donovan thought he was mugged. There's the two center backs in battle.
By the way, there's two big boys to battle against each other as they continue to exchange words, probably that we couldn't say.
No. It's a family show.
Get the beep button ready, producer.
Well, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, you can visit NikeSoccer.com. Back to Timbo. This will be abject disappointment for Anthony Pulis. Just a 5-minute stretch. Let's let them down here. Dropping points. OCB will head to St. Louis 16th on Saturday. Thompson against his former mates. Held up by Barry, now Neal. Need to be imaginative here. Schweitzer will just have to shield. Quickly, Troyer on him. Getting it clear. Haji, one-on-one with Imura. Bends the ball to the back post, looking for Dikwa. And it was off target.
I mean, it's a good attempt. It's a cross, and you got plenty of people in the box. The one thing I want to see, though, is Hattie Barry not be the one that crosses the ball. I want him, you know, one of my tallest guys, my big presence, my striker. I want him on the end of that. I want him in the box. So maybe they need to work out a little bit there, you know, with the exchanging of positions. But, you know, you want your top guy, your goal scorer, you want him closer to the goal rather than having the one to make that cross.
It's interesting. Haji Barry could have been a member of the Richmond Kickers, maybe on loan from DC United. That's who originally had that draft choice in 2016, the 13th spot that was traded to Orlando City. As powers that be saw Haji with that fastest 30-yard dash time at the combine and said, we can probably make something out of this young man. He's got the raw talent. So he and Richie Larea are first rounders in 2016. Now, Larea has had a lot of success here at the USL level this year. Now back up with the MLS club. I believe 7 appearances so far. Neal. Ball dealt with by Roberts. Neal back on it. Again, that tandem in the center has just been tough to crack. Gallardo earns a corner kick for OCB, 84th minute.
Yeah, Jeff, as you said before, you know, they got two big guys, and the other 2 wide guys they took in very well. They make it very difficult. The pass over the top of them, it's got to be so precise. The only one time that Louis Neal was able to do it, they were able to get something out of it. But very difficult play, very difficult pass to make.
Thompson delivers the set piece. Schweitzer back into the mixer. With a back from Lee, no. That will be chased into the corner, and it should be Orlando City throw. Here in the 85th. It's Donovan stretching out a cramp right at the 18, back up. And Zach Ellis Hayden to do the honors here on the throw. We need to peel one back now for sure. The mystery of OCB's exploits at home continues as it's safely in the hands of Travis Wara. OCB and on the road. One of the best teams, if not the best, in USL.
By the way, something that's not easy to achieve at all. You know, we're getting points.
But at home, it's been, it
just hasn't been that.
On the
Just
road. Two wins on the road.
One of the most difficult things to achieve at the professional level. Unfortunately for Orlando City, the one, you know, and I'd make a parenthesis here, easier thing to do is to win at home. They haven't been able to do so.
Another build up, and this will be headed into the wall.
Well, you mean the wall behind or the wall that's defending at the moment? Because Roberts and Yambi have been, you know, just 2 pillars, 2 absolute walls back there. They've been very difficult to break down. You know, not just their physicality, but also Yambi's experience and organization skills. You know, to get their players across, to recognize when there's a free man open, to be able to get his other players on top of that guy.
Yep. So OCB 6-4-4 away, just 2 wins at home. And just 2 losses as well. So about to go down to defeat for just the 3rd time in this stadium. There's been 8 draws. Still some time, though, 4 minutes. As skies have gotten more ominously gray. Perhaps a harbinger of things to come here on the weekend, with Irma bearing down on us. Throw back to OCB. Sense of urgency here. And Richmond 0-5-7 on the road. So
we see Yumby here on the ground a little bit.
I'll eat up some time.
Eat up some time as you know, he's got that experience. He recognizes that Orlando City's gained a little bit of momentum, being a little bit dangerous towards the end there. Maybe he can find a way to kill that.
The 33-year-old Cameroonian.
I hope that's the case, and obviously not that he's actually hurt.
No. Over 200 USL appearances. Played college at Old Dominion University there in the Tidewater region of Virginia. So quite at home in Richmond, just about an hour up the road. I-64. Thompson knows about Virginia, played at UVA and played at Richmond last year. Scott Thompson out of Brick Township, New Jersey, was in the New York Red Bulls Academy system before matriculating to University of Virginia. Imura, 88th minute. Gallardo, clean takeaway. 19-year-old on his hot horse. Getting around the edge. Here's a cross away. There's nobody in purple to get on the other end. Dikwa comes in late. Troyer was the only one there. Tired legs perhaps, and now you got things going the other way. Teyu to Janet. Here's Gonzalez, all those fresh attackers. Lee. Gallardo getting a little bit of a shove in. Come on, man.
It's a frustration.
Lee, the 24-year-old.
Again, Gallardo did very well in the last play to really, you know, he receives a foul. He continues to fight. He continues to push through. He's able to get a good cross by Dikwa just sleeping on the other side of the box, not able to get across quickly and really take advantage of that good quality cross by Gallardo.
Back to Wara. Already has one clean sheet in just his 4 games. And a minute plus stoppage remains, and Lee Kalishaw will make his final change here as Sonny Janet could be man of the match here today. He will make way for Evan Lee, a defender who was at FC Cincinnati a year ago. So this is just a mop up and put another tower of power in there at 6'4". Good luck breaking that down.
Yeah, as if it hasn't been difficult already. You have the Chinese Great Wall, and then you add one more, it becomes even more difficult.
Another brick in the wall.
Another brick in the wall. A big one.
Not the one we want to talk about. Teyu, those futsal skills on display, eventually takes a tumble. Short time. Trying to play through, finds Dikwa. Will let it fly off of War, made the initial save, cleared by Lee. There'll be 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're in it now.
And that's exactly what Orlando City wanted to do since the beginning of the game. As we see this display, obviously it's off of a little unlucky slide tackle by Richmond, and Wara makes a great save, gets down low quickly, but Schweitzer getting in the pocket to be able to create something and be very.
Oof. A redirect from Donovan just went by the far post. In the meantime, it was Anthony Pulis giving the 4th official, Natalie Simon, the business for just 4 minutes. He felt there should be more, and then yelled out to the referee, Jonathan Belinsky, for the same reason.
As we see the beautiful cross, that's been a common denominator for Thompson. Really good deliveries. Donovan not able to take advantage of that. He made great contact, but not able to redirect it into the goal. 2 good opportunities in a row for Orlando City B. We can't say that they haven't had the chances.
3 minutes remain. Lions have done better since those substitutions made at halftime as far as keeping the ball. No doubt there, but they were already trailing 2-0 at the half. That's where we stand now. Dikwa holding it up. Ellis Hayden. Well, you got to get one sooner than later. Time to be switching the play was Frank Teu to intercept. Back to Evan Lee. So you got Lee and Lee on the right side of the defensive formation for Lee Kalishaw. And about 2 minutes remain. Ellis Hayden. Again, continuing to go side to side OCB instead of Route 1. Timbo. Lee has it. First touch of the ball held up by Teu. Switched by Gonzalez to the far side of Murrow. Little back heel kick in the air. Half scorpion, if you will.
Yeah, it was impressive.
OCB is going to go down to its 7th defeat, and the 12-game unbeaten run as Fenlison makes a save to keep it from going 3-0. 12-game unbeaten run will go by the wayside. Haven't talked about that enough, just the form OCB has been on.
Yeah, you said it well. They've been in a great form, really racking a lot of points. Arguably the best team.
Neal flicks it ahead again.
The best
Roberts. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, the best team on the road. They've been in great form, 12 games. And now you're dropping 3 points at home that were very critical. The one thing you don't want to do is start panicking and losing concentration because, you know, you're talking about 5-6 games left in the season. There's still a lot to play for. You're still in the playoff run. You know, you don't want it to affect you mentally.
I would say it's not going to be an easy week of training, but that's if training even happens with the impending hurricane. So Dequa gets across, leaves it. Oh, took a flick. Now Gallardo on the ball. Got a shot off with his left foot. Another chance goes awry for OCB. Short time now. Checking the watch is Jonathan Belinsky. And Richmond will just carry it into the corner here. At least you would hope. Lee Kalishaw making that direction known. It will go into touch, and OCB is going to be out of time here. As soon as this goes in. Game, set, match. Triple blast of the whistle for Jonathan Belinsky, the referee. 2-0 to the Richmond Kickers. They make 2 set-piece goals in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Hold up. First road win of the season for Richmond. So congratulations to Lee Kalishaw and company as they continue to rise up the standings here late in the season when the thought is they had nothing to play for. They come on the road and hand Orlando City B a 2-0 defeat here at Orlando City Stadium. We'll be right back to wrap it up in just a moment.
She must feel. Evans is so calm and composed on the ball. How about that from Abogu to find her? And I don't know how Evans sneaks that
Kickers from Richmond get the 2-0 defeat of OCB here at Orlando City Stadium in a game that started 3 hours early in order to get a doubleheader going. Richmond moving up to 26 points and moving up to 13th in the East as Lee Calishaw's team with something to play for, apparently. It was news to them that they had nothing to play for because they've gotten wins in 3 of their last 4.
I tell you what, Jeff, maybe on the table there's nothing to play for, but there's pride, there's professionalism from players that they want to win every game that they play. And Richmond proved that tonight. They came in, they came hot, they came with a game plan, as we see here. Hattie Barry with an opportunity in the beginning of the game, is not able to make proper contact with the head. Makes it for a goal kick for Wara. As we see here, another good save by Wara, not allowing to give a corner kick. But Fernando was dangerous all game. Luis Fernando was very dynamic, very brave, trying to take people on. We see another opportunity by him. He doesn't get contact on it, but he is there. He is close to the play.
Fenlison, a big
Jake
save.
Fenlison makes a couple of good saves, but it was just a matter of time because they kept knocking on the door.
Well, 85 minutes for this game were pretty much a stalemate, but it was the 5 with those 2 set pieces that gave it away, Miguel.
That's it. Set pieces change games, and if you don't mark properly, and if you don't take advantage of them as well,
with the
it's going
first.
to make it very difficult.
In the 41st, and then 4 minutes later, set piece for Sonny Jané, and makes no mistake.
He has a lot of quality on his feet. We talked about it in the beginning of the game. He was one of the featured players, and he did not disappoint. We see again Fernando being dangerous on the flanks.
Just couldn't get that final ball into the net.
That's right, and there was good opportunities. We see a lot of the opportunities by Orlando City B with good deliveries, just not enough will, maybe not enough desire to get across Richmond's defense to try to make contact and beat them to the ball. But then again, credit to Richmond Kickers that they were very solid defensively, very well organized, never lost patience. When Orlando City had the ball side to side, they did not worry about that.
Sure.
See a good ball right here by Hattie Barry. Nice curl ball to the back post, but Wara, he had himself a good game, making a couple key saves. As we see one of the other ones right here, gets low and down quickly to make that nice save that is very, very difficult to do, especially from such close range. And then the corner kick, again, another good delivery by Thompson and Connor. And Donovan not able to make a good connection with the ball.
Look at the final match stats, Miguel. Richmond on the road getting better of the possession.
Yeah, they were good on the ball. They made very minimal mistakes. It was when they make a couple of mistakes that Orlando City had some success. We see the amount of shots.
Pretty even.
Pretty even. Orlando City really took a lot of shots, put some crosses in the box. But it was Richmond Kickers with those 2 set pieces. They really took advantage. They had a plan. That first goal was by design. Send it to the big guy in the back, put it back in the dangerous area, and somebody gets across. So they really took advantage of that. And obviously that masterpiece by Jané, who was very good the entire game. With that left peg, put it right over the wall. Fenlison, nothing to do.
Well, here's what it all means for Orlando City B. They stay in 6th on 36 points, but that could change by the end of the weekend. New York Red Bulls 2 right behind them in 35, along with FC Cincinnati. Bethlehem Steel and Pittsburgh 2 points back of that. And a lot of those teams, save for Cincinnati and Bethlehem, will play this weekend. So they could find themselves 7th, 8th, or even below at the end of the weekend. So opportunity lost for OCB. They will go on the road to play St. Louis and then come back here to play Charleston on the 23rd of this month. Hope to see you here. Well, from Orlando City Stadium, final score, Richmond 2, Orlando City 0. Want to thank all of you for watching on USL Match Center. Make sure you, if you're in the Orlando area, get out to the Pride game tonight. Kickoff 8 o'clock against the Seattle Reign. For Miguel Gallardo, our producer Jim Clark, our director Dave Saperstein, our entire crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long. OCB drops all 3 here at home. Good afternoon.
Copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.